meeting Tuesday, July 19th order. Need an approval of the June 21st minutes.
Make a motion to accept the minutes on June 21st. Can you please stop by?
Got a motion to accept the minutes. Can I get a second? Who seconded? Steve seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, let's have a review of the accounting report that's presented by Kim.
First report is just the check register, the check listed for tonight's meeting. And there again, there's really nothing that unique. Anybody have any question on any of the bills that are going to go?
Does anybody have any questions? Kim? Particular items? No? That was easy.
And then, it's still early in the year, so, there's not any unusual things that come up. Moving on to the collector's report, obviously these are the payments that came in under the taxes in the month of June. And there again, there's nothing unique in there. There were some reimbursements, two other reimbursements, water and sewer, and those were capacity fees for development. Part of that would be the capacity fees for the car wash down here at Roscoe's. So those fees have all been paid. Their occupancy permit was issued. Yep.
Some other question. And not that it's $77, but are we still collecting this year's?
Vehicle tax are being collected in June until the end of June, because we don't know what's happening again. We give new residents 30 days before we charge them for tag. So if they move in after July 1st, we still don't know if the tag has been repealed or not, so.
Thank you.
All right. Any questions about the collector's report? Hearing none. Fine.
And then the next report is just the revenue expense summary by fund. There again, we're new into the fiscal year. At the committee level, we discuss, each department more in depth. There's really no concern in any of the funds at this point. Everything's kind of moving along with the ship. This is said through June 30th, so it's only 2 months into the fiscal year.
Too early for me, tough questions.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll come later, but for now, everything's running smoothly.
Anybody have anything else for Kim? Kim, you got off easy tonight. Thank you, as usual. All right, let's go to new business. Review and approve an ordinance repealing certain provisions of the City of Wilmington Code of Ordinances. What do we got?
Well, in your packet, there needs to be a change in regards to the ordinance itself. It does have a whereas that O&L committee approved the repeal. I don't think there's anything wrong with the whereas where the O&L committee reviewed the provisions. But the next whereas, it says ordinance and license committee has approved the repeal of said sections. That's not true, so that section will have to get deleted. My understanding, too.
a question about that. In that meeting, I had made a motion to send it to council. Immediately after that was a motion to table it until later. And Attorney Urban was gonna get back to us on, which I saw that, but I'm a little, I wanna make sure that I have the right clarification on what his answer was.
Well, he'll be here about 6:40.
Because I didn't think we could.
I think we can look, I mean, yes, that because it is on here. What this really has to deal with is a repealing of the city stickers, animal tags, I believe something else. Cat licenses too. We talked about this early in the budget. We talked about it early on, and it brought up early on. It was talked about the public hearing because as we started to put the budget together, we looked into a lot of revenue sources, a lot of revenue streams. And what we found is that the money that comes in from gaming, revenue gaming license fee, which is really, as far as the state put it, is supposed to be geared towards roads and sidewalks and such like that. That when we seen that revenue coming in, which was probably approximately, we forecasted about $70,000 this year, that would really kind of take the issue of the city stickers away. I think our revenue for city stickers is probably about $60,000. And we are supposed to earmark that money we get from city stickers into sidewalk and road maintenance. That was the big issue. Sometimes we'd spend that money on it, sometimes we wouldn't, but it would just kind of roll into general corporate. But even bigger than that on the issue of city stickers is we have talked about it, not only this council, but councils in the past. Billy's probably even talked about it when he was mayor, about eliminating the city sticker. That the need of the city sticker was really no longer prevalent, but we still continued it because it was revenue that we felt that the city needed. When we looked at everything, we realized we came to a time frame that we really didn't need this revenue. We could replace it with something else. We could replace it with the gaming revenue. And I think we've all had issues, we've all had challenges when it comes to city stickers. Every time after city stickers has happened, we always have phone calls where people come in and weren't aware that they were supposed to buy them. People that don't refuse to buy them, gone for years without refusing to buy them. And where in essence, the city sticker is really, what it was is a tax. It's always been a tax, we call it a city sticker, but in essence it's a tax. And in my opinion, it's an unfair tax because you're really not able to fairly tax the public or the residents in town fairly when it comes to city stickers. A, because some people choose not to buy them, and B, some people have more vehicles than others. So it's never really a fair tax. And if you look at history of other communities that have had city stickers, a lot of communities have actually gotten rid of city stickers because of that very reason, because they were unable to create a fair tax among all their taxpayers. A lot of them have actually instituted what they call a road tax, and that road tax is actually part of the water. I know the city of Shorewood, and I believe there's a couple other in that area, they have a road tax. And it's a yearly fee with all the taxpayers that have a water bill, they pay a road tax. I don't feel it's necessary for us to have to do that. We're able to, as we've become fiscally conservative over these several years, and we've always tried to do whatever we can to save the taxpayers money. We've had significant debates over water rates and sewer rates and trying to keep them as low as possible for our taxpayers. We have another opportunity to help save our taxpayers some money. Some people may save $10 because they're senior citizens. Some may save $25 because they have only one vehicle. Some residents are able to save $125 or more because they have several vehicles. We're providing them that opportunity. I was kind of shocked to see that we were debating whether not to get rid of them because we had purchased, I think, we purchased the stickers back in March. We didn't know at the time how our budget was laid out. We had purchased those stickers early on. It's necessary for us to get those, so we did it. $1,100 in a $5.4 million general corporate fund is pennies. And even the revenue received from it, which is about $60,000, is, I think, maybe 1% of our general corporate. It's really pittance. The money that you take, the administration costs, you take the police costs, you take the credit card fees. If you actually formulate all that money into there, that's $60,000 going down significantly. So, I mean, I'm really concerned to hear that people were at odds about eliminating or repealing the city stickers. And so, I mean, that's really kind of where we're at. I know it was a 2-2 vote. I directed staff to put it on the Board of Finance Administration to allow for all members of council to be able to discuss it and debate it and find out what the issues are in relation to those who were opposed to eliminating the city stickers, and O&L to give their just prudence to the rest of the council as to why they don't want to eliminate them. So that's why it's here.
What are you going to excited? What's not good? Say a couple things maybe. One of the things that was brought to my attention was $70,000, but I realized it was twice so much money. And if there was a way to maybe see what we actually earn after all this, because I hear, time worked, but if you're doing it within your day, that's time I'm paying you for anyway, so that's not really an extra cost. So what we actually earn would be nice to know, and something that Mr. Studer has said almost every time I've been here or at a finance meeting is stuff for contingency for this horrible sewer/water system we're going to have to fix at some point in time, where we can start building some kind of nest egg. I don't necessarily agree that we're in a position where if we already have revenue coming in, by all means I'm all for saving money and not paying any more for the multi-vehicle user when I buy my city stickers. And I am getting hit with the new water rate. So all those things do affect me. But I don't feel, as a city, we are in a position to just let go of dollars right away or right now. So that's my opinion. And that's why I voted to not go forward with this repeal.
I voted for this not to go forward because we already purchased the stickers that we had. Now, I made the suggestion to table it, because it does go into effect the 1st of August. But the more clearly thing that I'm looking at is, $50,000 to $70,000 we're going to talk. It's not costing us any more money for the people to do their job because they're here for 8 hours. We don't sell these after hours, so we're not getting nothing there. People come in, they pay their water bill with credit cards too. Am I correct? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's already, everything that's been said, we're already doing that. So there's no additional cost there. But what I'm looking at is the safety of Wilmington. This is created to make the sidewalks better, fix the alleys, and the roads. Now, if you drive around town in Wilmington, you'll see our sidewalks are in bad shape. Our sidewalks on 53 are awful. I don't even have a curb in front of my house anymore. It's gone completely, okay? And we're sitting here discussing about doing away with $70,000 that we could be using to fix sidewalks and beautify the city. Not sit here, then next year we're going to try to figure out where we're going to get the money at when we know we got $70,000 sitting there now. That's, 50 to 70.
Okay. I understand that. And my argument, second, going back to what I was saying earlier, is we're still going to get that revenue. We're just getting the gaming taxes now.
Then that'd give us more money to fix.
I know that's the argument we can make. Okay, we don't always spend that money. I know you talked about curbs and stuff. Let's talk about stuff along 53, state highway. Okay, a lot of that responsibility is borne by the state, not us, especially when you're dealing with curbs and issues. So it's not an apples to apples.
I use that as an example, Mayor.
I understand.
I could take you down any street.
There's plenty of streets, we have a 50/50 sidewalk plan, we've always encouraged that. There's a lot of things that we do use a lot of MFT money for a lot of the improvements we do. But getting back to really the nature of the thing is, if you could tell me that when we do the city statement, which is a tax, if you could basically go and say that everybody within the town who pays taxes is being taxed fairly, okay, by the advent of city stickers, then I would see no issue with it. But that's always been the crutch with a lot of people, because we debated the issues with city stickers for many years, is it was an unfair tax. You always had the residents that came to you that said, I pay my city stickers every year, yet half my neighbors don't, and nothing happens. And it's not that our officers aren't out there diligently if they see city stickers. The problem is our officers can't go on private property to write a city sticker. If that vehicle is parked in public property, then yes, they can go out and write a city sticker. But if that vehicle is parked in their driveway or parked in their garage, an officer can't walk up there and see if they got a city sticker. They can't. And they can't pull somebody over arbitrarily to see if they got a city sticker. It has to be a secondary violation. If they pull somebody over for somebody else and they can see that they're from Wilmington, they can see if they got a city sticker, it's displayed on those issues. So it's not, that's my biggest question, Phil, that how can we, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna implement this tax, it's gonna go for sidewalks and roads, okay? How can we do it to where every resident in town, if you want to tax them, is taxed fair? And that's the biggest reason. We now have an opportunity that has been, that people have argued about and complained about for years, is that city sticker. There's a need, desire for it, and somebody doesn't have to, if they're paying for it than somebody else, we get rid of it. I think it's a great thing. So that's kind of where I'm at with it, and that's, where I think that we've got an opportunity. And the opportunities came because of how we've been frugal with our budget for years. I know Kirby talks about supplementing the water and sewer. Well, you can't really supplement water and sewer with city stickers. The supplement comes from water and sewer itself, which is a separate entity, separate tax account. The city sticker is part of the general corporate, where water and sewer has to build up those funds coming directly from the water and sewer revenue. You have, but it's not.
That's what I was led to believe at the committee meeting, that we could spend this money on something else. If we could spend this money on something else, then maybe we could put it aside for a contingency for a rainy day project. We all say it's small.
It is. I go back to the premise, if we could tax people fairly on it.
I didn't tell you to buy 5 vehicles, Mayor.
Mr. Mayor,
Can I
Mr.
ask you a
Mayor,
question?
I voted to bring it to
I'm
the
for it.
council. And my issue is that we needed, I'm worried about the money that we're not getting from Springfield.
Well, the thing is, we are getting money.
You're getting some,
We're getting
but
our money, the budget's been passed.
nobody can answer us.
But we're getting our money. You can ask the finance director if we're getting checks from the state, which
But
we are.
we didn't have
If the
anybody
state-
here
If the
to
state was
clarify.
to, well, I know at that time, but if the state was to do away with LGDM, what you're talking about, the distribution fund, that's $600,000, $800,000. A $60,000 revenue with city stickers ain't gonna put it down. If the state was to determine that they were not gonna get what to share our weight, every community in the state would have some significant issues and big money, but I don't think that's ever been out there. They're not even talking about it. So, okay, can't have that.
The real key thing about this, Mayor, is if we do away with this, you'll never get it back.
That's great. I hope we never see that.
And I'm telling you straight up right now, from the times that I've been here and sitting here, I really and truly believe we need to keep this and put the money and use the money for fixing our streets, our alleys, our sidewalks.
How do we do it fairly? How do we tax people fairly? In the city state?
You know what, you call it a tax, I'm not calling it a tax.
That's what it is.
I'm calling it,
It's a source of revenue, it's a tax, it's coming from tax.
so, okay, we have a fixed price. It's $5 to $25, right?
It's
It's $5 to $25.
Citizen is 25.
It's $5 to $25, okay? So if you own 3 or 4 vehicles,
We have a lot of revenue sources in the community. I guess my question would be, are we balanced, is our budget balanced this year?
Yes, we passed the budget.
Is it
Zero
what
line
is it a
item.
balanced budget? Are we using reserves or are we?
We're
are
balanced.
we using
budget.
reserves?
We are
We have contingencies.
We're
with
contingency
reserves. We
in
do
there,
every year.
and we have budgeted more expenses than revenues because we have to do that. I mean, because you have to have the authority to spend the money for some of the things that we can't predict. So
But we passed a balanced budget. The line item vehicle stickers, so.
we passed the budget without business sticker revenue in here. Yes, we did.
I am a strong believer that we could use the money elsewhere, I mean, where it's supposed to be used at. Unfair tax or whatever you want to call it, you know, so be it. It's been there for years and years and years. And
We talked about.
I'm against of doing away with it.
I know, and I'll be honest with you, Alderman Hall, I'm actually quite shocked because I know you've been an astute advocate in trying to eliminate extra payments by the taxpayers. And to actually see that is kind of shocking to me because we have an opportunity to save taxpayers.
I would like to comment on that, but this isn't the place to comment.
Mr. Mayor, I can answer a few questions that came up in discussion. The ordinance actually has a designated use of funds. So to answer the question, can we just transfer general corporate funds into the water and sewer? These funds we could not. You'd have to change the ordinance to do that. Could it change the ordinance? It's like tonight we're talking about changing and repealing. Yes, you could. But under the current use of funds, under 71.08, it does state it's got to be used for roads and things like that. I think the thing when we get comments about it is the duties and responsibilities of people that are working when all this is going on. I've always been an advocate and working in both sides of the field, of city management and police. It isn't the hours that they're dedicating toward this. Is that the best use of those hours for those employees when we have other demands on the employees themselves? I can tell you right now on the police side, and the police chief can comment, you know, the time and effort that is being put in to try to enforce this tax, and it is a tax. You look up a definition, this is a tax. It's a fee placed on because you own a piece of property that nobody else can pay except yourself as the owner. However, they're out there doing this type of job. It's great. It always was nice to see the officers in the neighborhoods checking for vehicle stickers. But the demand on our police force has changed over the years, and the technology has changed. Vehicle stickers were put in place, and historically, why it's a good advantage for police departments is they didn't have ready access to license plate information. Now they have ready access. They have it right there in the car. So vehicle stickers, a lot of communities are getting rid of the vehicle stickers because they did realize that it's collecting data that now you have to protect, you know, privacy and things like that, but you're collecting data that is now readily available easily through a Secretary of State, where years ago it was not. The other thing is, if we do want to go into a more enforcement measure to make it more fairly applicable to everybody that owns a car, we would have to get clear data that would be time-stamped, which we could get from the Secretary of State. It costs us about $600 to get that data. But then the data is only by zip code. It's not by actual address of a city address. Secretary of State doesn't do that. They only do it by zip codes. So the zip code would come in. We have to go through the data. We have to make sure that every one of those cars that are listed or vehicles are truly in the city limits. And then once we go through that data and spend the time to correlate all that, then we got to transfer the data into a mail list. And then we have to mail out notices. Go through that. If that's what you want our employees to do, that's fine. You're right. During an 8-hour day, we could do that. But by the time we send out their notices, it takes anywhere. Right now, we tried it this year, get it all through and go through everything. due to the fact that there's one person in administrative over at full-time over at the police department, and all the demands that are going on over there, by the time they got it done, it was what, about 8 weeks before we saw the spreadsheet? Now we have to verify, because we want to send out accurate information, that, you know, if you're a violator, you want to get, you know, no one likes to get one of those letters from the city of Chicago saying that you got a parking ticket, you never were in the city of Chicago because somebody wrote the wrong number on the parking ticket. So then we have to be able to verify that and be able to send out those notices. And we send them out, we're sending them out as compliance, please come in and buy your sticker. Then you got to send out the notice that they didn't come in. Now we got to send out a violation notice. And then we send out the violation notice. Then they come into the administrative adjudication to either or buy the sticker or come into administrative adjudication, and they're going to debate. The theory is that do we have the right to do that based by mail? You know, right now nobody's really challenged that a whole lot. Yes, we can. Legally, we can send out notices, we can send out violation notices via mail. But it's again going with the data and the way people move and change. And you know we have over 500 rental units in this community, not counting all the houses, where people move. So now we're sending out all these notices and people coming here. Is that the best use of our time? You know, I think for our police officers, no, it isn't. You know, I'll let the chief comment on that. Talk to the chief about this. Is the chief here? You know, we want our police officers being more effective out there, not enforcing the vehicle sticker. When it really is hard to get everybody in town to be in compliance. So that's why the communities, what the city managers have, that's why a lot of the communities have gone actually to the utility billing to register for sidewalks or for streets and alleys. They put a fee on the utility bills.
Marty, Fred had her hand up.
Not my meetings, friends.
Yeah,
Does
Fred.
anybody else have any comments they'd like to make?
Just for clarification, a couple of things. City stickers, and any one of you guys can answer this, they go into effect on what day?
October 1st.
August 1st.
August 1st is when we can sell them. You violate, yes, August 1st you can sell them. The violation date, let's clarify that. You know, you have to have it displayed by October 1st. You can buy it starting August 1st.
August 1st.
You can absolutely
And-
buy a ticket
Okay.
on October 1st, even if you want.
And so the dates on the sticker are what to what?
The new ones would be,
September 1st to August
October
1st?
1st to September
October 1st to September 30th.
If you're going to repeal, you need to, tonight's the night you need to repeal. I mean, it's just too late to repeal.
But
We call it special meeting.
Second point of,
exactly.
my second question or point of clarification is, in the past, the money that has been collected from the city stickers, and I'm not on the committee, but the city sticker money what has paid for when Gary comes in with his lists and the priorities are set on what streets and alleys need to be fixed, that money comes out of what fund?
It comes out of general court. Streets and alleys comes out of general court.
And then
Oh,
that
one.
is paid for, or has in the past been paid for with city sticker money.
Some
Yes.
of it.
Some of it.
A lot of your roadways are M&T.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand.
The sidewalks and other street maintenance and the court work, we just did some court work the other day, that comes out of Gary's fund, under street maintenance.
I don't think it's right to lose sight of the fact that it's a tax. It's not fair.
Joe?
Yeah, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought last time we collected city stickers, didn't we buy Gary a piece of equipment with that $60,000? We did not use it on roads. Didn't we buy it?
Those what they call the B fund, okay?
So that had nothing to do with the city stickers?
It's called the mobile
That's fine.
equipment fund.
Yeah, it's called the mobile equipment
Yeah,
fund.
that's the B fund.
Also, we had a vote about close to a month ago about raising the water rates and the sewer rates and whatnot, and I voted yes to raise those rates because I was told that we were gonna eliminate the city sticker, and we were also under the impression that we were gonna save $3 a month, per month, per family for garbage. So that's why I did vote in order to raise the water rates. Therefore, the citizen would not be paying any extra money for the year one. So to see this come now is, I think, a little bit too late, you know, according to the decisions I had made. Just my opinion.
So you're in favor of repealing the sticker?
Yes.
I think what you need to do is figure out more debate and have a vote on it. I know we got other stuff to talk about.
Is there anybody else that want to make any comments on this? Well, it's on the agenda tonight, correct?
Yes, it is.
So I'm looking for a motion to send it to full council for approval. Repeal of the city sticker, dog and cat license or
Yeah.
tag.
Okay, I'll make a motion to send the city council to waive the first and second readings and approve ordinance repealing certain provisions of the city of Wilmington Code of Ordinances.
Okay, we have a motion made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, roll call vote.
Alderman Tudor?
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne?
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin?
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall?
No.
Alderman Kirby Hall?
No.
Alderman Evans?
Yes.
Alderman Studer?
Yes.
We have, oh, so it would have been yes.
That's
First extension.
I got 5-2.
Okay, pass.
First extension.
First, okay, that's,
All right. So we have, we approved the motion to send it to full council for approval. Let's move on. Review and approve lease agreement with Wilmington Historical Society.
Yeah, the last time I was at committee, basically we're looking for clarification on whoever was going to basically have authority to execute the lease agreement. There was a couple of changes after it was given to the Historical Society new board of officers that have been elected and been better organized, I believe, and they're doing a lot of work already in City Hall, cleaning up and fixing things for us. Because we're currently looking for this to get approved today. And, I know John Persick wearing a hat as a Historical Society member, I believe he's the president. Yes. He's the one that's been going back and forth with John Urban on the changes recommended coming from the Historical Society. So we're ready to move this forward.
Does anybody have any comments on the agreement?
I just had one, I know people were saying having part of this. Is this building ADA compliant? Do you have any concerns in relation to
There is a non-operable washroom in there now, so there's no washroom. The both doorways are flush.
and their proper widths and all that stuff?
We've cleaned it out, so now that there's actually walkways through it. And I think we filled up 3 dumpsters already.
Basically, if we ever get into the realm of reopening and washroom, that's when we have to worry about the ADA requirements as it relates to that washroom.
If it's open to the public, I would believe, depending on how we have to make it open to the public.
There's no requirement to do so.
Well, check with our building inspector. I do know there's a provision for short-term use, minimum hours, that there might be an exemption, but I want to just verify that before it opens up.
And I have a question in here for what the landlord agrees to. How much is there, it says the city will perform any heavy maintenance of the exterior and interior. Do we foresee any of that? Is there roof damages? It's an old building. Is there stuff that inevitably we're going to have to end up paying for?
Yeah, with or without the Historical Society, if we're going to keep this building, we're going to be
But I think what needs to happen.
But nothing right now that we're aware of.
I think what needs to happen also when we go forward is, John being president, a lot of historical societies work with the cities and generate fundraisers and events like that. I see a lot of historical societies or historical associations within the communities actually raise funds to help release that burden for municipalities in fixing the old historic buildings within town, and hoping that that can kind of start to become generated over time as to where that can become effective. Because I think I've seen that in other communities.
I know Bill personally,
Yeah, to kind of answer Tony, or, well, Tony's and France, but yeah, there's some roof issues up there. I spent 2 days up there, and stopped all the leaks. It was leaking everywhere around the parapet wall. Tom Hayden came over and showed me this property material. And then I had boys from John Allen and Lifeless come out there and take a look, and yeah, the roof is at its end of its life. At some point in time, it's going to have to be changed, but we've got it completely watertight now. So that's stopped all the damage. And Tony's right, regardless of who's in the building, sort of tear it down. I mean, and you know, kind of the goal of the Historical Society is as we raise money, we're going to be earmarking for projects within the building. We got windows, we kind of like to straighten out a little bit, and doors and things. Yeah.
Thank you.
How do you plan on raising this money, Bill? Are you going to charge a fee to come in?
No, you know, we sell the capture stage buttons, that's probably the biggest one. You know, like I say, we're just getting it up and running again, so there's a lot of fresh new members and a lot of great ideas. So,
I think also utilize corporate resources.
Yep.
Corporate resources come in. I think that's what happens in a lot of the bigger communities, is they get a lot of corporate donations from those big companies in the cities.
I was quite amazed at how many other historical societies from Mammoth, within maybe, I don't know, maybe 40-mile radius, reached out instantly. They're like, yay, you guys got it up and running again. So, well, we're going to have it open for Catfish Day so people can come down and see. We're going to try to get the actual jail opened up. And there's nobody old enough to be in that jail, but I know people who were locked up. And you go in and see it. Holy cow, it is a dungeon.
Your dad is different.
Yeah, it is a different one. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So
So we need somebody to make a motion to send this full council for approval.
I'll make it.
Read it.
Make a motion to send the full council the lease agreement between the city and Wilmington Area Historical Society.
Okay, we have a motion to send the full council for approval. Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any other discussion or any more discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Thank you. See you all at Catfish Day.
Okay, bye.
okay, I see here, review, approve.
This is really a pass-through. PGAV, we've identified that we're going to have, we have to do another study for the TIF amendment. And the Ilion Partners has agreed to pay for this. So we still got to work out if it's going to come out of our TIF funds that have been collected, or they're going to pay for it up front. But we do have the funds to be able to pay for this project.
Who are these people and where did they come from?
PGAV is our TIF consultants that have been on this project since the beginning of 2010. So they did the first TIF, and they're the ones working with the attorneys to make sure we meet all the requirements. We go to hearings and things like that.
These are the ones that tend to upset those guys down there.
Yeah, I just did.
When it comes to release one to, they're very astute and they're very good.
Yes.
Since we've managed them.
Okay, and all expenses are passed.
And they'll either be passed through, or they'll be coming out of what the money that we've collected already in TIF, which we've collected this year so far for $95,000 we have in the fund. And I think this project is 16.6. So it's our request is to Ilion Partners to pay for it. Their request back is they like to discuss it because this can't come out of the administrative fees that are collected through the TIF funds. So we'll either agree to take it out of there, or they can pay for it and they can collect it later as a TIF reimbursement. We do have the funds to pay for it. Internally, if we want, I requested for them to pay for it. We got a meeting on it August 3rd.
So are you looking for approving?
Looking for approval tonight, because we have a timing issue. We can't do the TIF amendment to where, remember, we had 10 acres from Victoria Foods that was outside the TIF. We want that to get well into the TIF because they are building on that property. We need to get that TIF amendment done. We're going to take out property and add, we're never going to increase property. We're going to just transfer property from one end to another end and make sure what the current building is going on is in the TIF.
Except that north end of the building is kind of stalled right now, that used to be the lot that was being held up,
Yes.
so it's not part of the original sales. Okay, somebody got a motion? And my file? Yes, it is. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the PGAV Planners Addendum to professional services agreement for the Bridgeport Logistics Center Intermodal Terminal Facility area, and send it to full council for approval. Okay, we have a second. Any further discussion on this issue? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next. Review and approve the entry small shed occupation license agreement with Sandra Walsh.
Yeah, the water tower that's outside our window here, there's a small portion of that they're requesting to put a shed on. Normally what we do is if someone does want to encroach into our property, you look at an easement to grant them, but instead of putting just gravel and put the shed on it, they're actually want to put concrete foundation or concrete pad so they can secure the shed. And they want to buy the property. To go through a purchase, you have to go through all types of process for that, you have appraisals, or not appraisal, you got to waive all that, and then you got to identify the surplus property. At this point in time, you know, we wouldn't recommend doing that, so we told them that we bring a request to allow them to locate the shed, encroach on our property, but as part of that, we have provisions in the license agreement that gives us control to tell them they have to remove it. It's in an area that's not interfering with anything, it's off to the back. They're right
Is
next
it
to
not already up, Tony?
No. They do have one shed, it's another one.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, no, it's,
okay.
she's not encroached. Kobe went out, we looked at it,
Okay.
she's not
Because
encroached.
I saw something up there, it just wasn't, okay.
So for us to issue a building permit for the section they want to do, you can read in there, give a legal description. We have to give them the right to use that property. So.
Did this come to building and ground, or?
No, it didn't. Mainly due to the fact is they would hope to be able to put the foundation in next week and get the shed built. So I said I'd bring it right to finance and all that, so.
Does anybody have any discussions or comments?
So we cleaned up a lot of debris out there as well. Behind her house, there's a lot of tall weeds and brushes there that they'll be ripping out. They're cleaning up and put this thing. So there's a little benefit to us, cleaning up a lot, mowing a lot of stuff that hasn't been looked at.
I just want to know if the city's at risk, if there accidents happen when building the shed, or, you know, the neighbor kid breaks into the shed that's on our property. Anything legal that we need to be worried about?
I believe that's all covered in license.
We put language in there in regards to, I believe, identification.
We're being identified. It's got to be covered under her property, homeowner's property.
I'm sure it was thought of, but I just,
Yeah, no, good question.
Okay, can we get a motion to send the full council for approval, the entry and small shed occupation license agreement with Sandra Welch? Second? Second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yes, you did.
I was looking for, it's not here. Okay, well, the introduction of the new hire for the water reclamation. We gave a conditional offer of employment to John Segura. We told him about the meeting, but he might have said 7 o'clock. So this, there he is.
Where's your guy? Where's your guy, Darren? Is he here?
Here's your employee here?
He said he'd be here said.
Okay.
So,
For the council meeting.
Okay, you vetted this guy,
Okay, I get it.
your selection?
I'm sorry.
You vetted this guy through your interviewing process, and this is your selection?
Yes, Mr. President.
Okay. Does anybody have any discussions or concerns about hiring this?
It was just a straight up introduction. Motion or anything?
No, yeah.
Okay. We'll meet him at 7? Okay, last item, presentation by Anna Marie Delaquila, All Media Productions on the new Wilmington website.
The reason Anne's in front of us here is we do know that the current website won't be able to get hosted with the current host provider, and there's a lot of changes that are going on with that. So we're gonna have to redo or redesign a website for the next one. So I asked Anne Marie, she's been doing some concepts and some things, but as always, let's get some feedback. We don't have to do this right away. Our deadline is by when, Anne Marie? Do we have to change over? December.
Yes, the end of the year. So timeline is, that I have on the contract is immediate, but
No, is this the one that Gino had, you know?
Yeah, this is the way we can host it through GoDaddy.
GoDaddy.
yeah, it'll stay with GoDaddy. It's just GoDaddy's website builder is changing, and they're not making it easy to change the website. They're making it to where you would have to take all of your documentation, everything, and completely rebuild it anyhow. So I think it's as good a time as any to jump to something that's much more serviceable and works better with mobile, and it's kind of obsolete. GoDaddy's website builder is really not very good.
Major minor,
And one of the purpose, what they do in general and the new legislative rulings out there in regards to documents, they do want us to have all the documents that we can from the FOIA request to be electronically available on the website. If they are, then we don't even have to copy them. We just direct them directly to the website. And what we're going to be, our goal is going to be with our website is to try to get to the transparency. There's an award out there that if you do certain things, you can basically say our website does meet for transparency purpose. We have all documents, everything is available, and the public can truly see everything going on. I think we're real close to that right now, but there is a process for us to apply for that certification.
We're not very close.
Okay.
you can get us closer?
I could, yeah, definitely. I'll go over that.
So there's a couple suggestions while she's getting set up.
I'm ready.
I think if the committee wants to get a subcommittee to work on website, what we'd like to see on it, or have her show you a quick tonight and then you can come back at another meeting. I think it's really important for us to have a lot of input on what would you guys like to see on our website and not see.
I think, from my standpoint, what you see is mobile devices are really becoming more prevalent. A lot of people want something that's mobile friendly as far as getting access to various things to be able to see. The use of video feeds and everything else is becoming a lot bigger too. Video clips and all that stuff. So I think, I like to see that type of thing, focus, but also have the ability to kind of change things. Technology changes.
So I invited Joey, she's sort of our webmaster from the city end.
Just from my experience, obviously, what the website needs to serve a couple of major purposes. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a sales tool for the city going forward. A lot of times, it's our first impression to people when they look at us. But other than that, from a business standpoint, it needs to be real easy and friendly to use. You got to be able to download any document you need. You ought to be able to see the code of ordinances. You ought to be able to get a business license. You ought to be able to get on there and get what you need. I've been on hundreds of websites from communities to get licenses and things like that for work. And, it's always nice to go to a website where I can get what I need and find
Pull
what
up
I'm
the
looking
permit,
for.
fill it out, bring it in,
Yep.
or email it in.
Instead of running in here and
I
having
think
your
that's-
permit,
I think
print it
that's
off,
what-
fill it out.
Anne Marie, can you kind of like give us a condensed version?
Absolutely, that's a huge benefit to what we would be doing. It's also part of a very prestigious award that we'd be aiming for called the Sunshine Award. It's about government transparency. And that's some of what Tony was talking about. You have to have 5 years worth of documentation on your minutes, agendas, financial information available. And the difference between what we have now, there's 4 years on there right now, I believe. The difference would be that these documents need to be searchable and fillable. So that's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take taking 5 years worth of documents and taking them into Adobe one by one, creating them as searchable documents. So they can type in a keyword, they can find what they want. The ultimate goal on the website would be to be able to have someone fill in the document and it gets sent to the right person immediately from there. They wouldn't even have to print it and bring it in. So I think that's what you're looking for there. Yeah, that's definitely something that I had on here. Let's see, what else did you guys address? Oh, the ease of navigation, that's another huge thing that I had on the presentation. It's, right now there are 50 plus web pages on the site right now. There's 50 plus pages. And a city site, I mean, you need information. People are looking for information, but the dissemination of that and how they find it is extremely important. If you have to click through 4 places because you can't intuitively find what you're looking for, you're going to give up and you're going to make a phone call and you're going to put the people in the office to work. Tony was also talking about the FOIA request. By law now, if it's on your website, all you have to do is give them a link to the website and you're done. So your FOIA officer gets all that stuff off of their back. They don't have to take the time filling out all these things in a set period of time. You just give them the link and it's there. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to address before I go through the presentation? I think I would have hit all that, so we'll see if there's anything beyond that. Okay. So you currently have a working information field site, so why do you need to invest? All right, so GoDaddy has launched a new website builder. It's a content management system, which is generally how most websites are made right now. People code, but they aren't coding whole websites. They, like, when I build a website, if I need something specific to happen to a certain element, I'll find the code and I'll put that code in. But people are using drag and drop builders, which means more people can do it, but you still don't want those people to do it. They could if they wanted to, but they shouldn't. You have to have a set place for everything. You have to have some design work done, and you basically, you need a little bit of background to know what you're doing. So, since GoDaddy is changing theirs over, we have to change the site completely anyhow. The content management system that I use is Squarespace. It is excellent. It's not ever going to make me take an entire site and change everything over. When they update, they give you a few simple instructions and your site gets better. Let's see. So industry standards right now dictate website redesign or reimagine about every 3 to 4 years because of the rate that technology is moving. I'm pretty sure we're right around that range with what Gina built. And like I said, because GoDaddy is basically obsolete in their website builder, it's time to do that. Another reason. Okay, so this is something that was already mentioned: functionality, ease of use, and organization. I mean, that is key. We have a lot of text on the website right now, and text is good. We need to inform the citizens of everything that they need to know, but images and finding a way to organize the information in a way that if people look, they know that this is going to be what they're going to find there. Not having to click through 3 levels to get to something that they need. A big thing with that is a quick links area, and basically you use the analytics on your site, see which pages people are visiting the most, like Unicode was mentioned, definitely all the forms to fill out for any kind of licensing, things like that. Meeting minutes, I'm sure, are a big one, especially around election times. So those would be quick links on a sidebar that shows up through the entire site, and anyone can get to those at any point in time. Responsive design. The GoDaddy CMS does have responsive design. What that means is it translates from computer screen to a Mac screen to a tablet to a cell phone, Android or an iOS cell phone. It's okay with GoDaddy, it's not great. Squarespace has beautiful responsiveness, and it looks great on any screen. It'll be slightly different, but it fits the screen, the menus are all there, you don't lose anything in translation. The award that I was talking about, and Tony mentioned, is called the Sunshine Award. It is for government transparency in Illinois, because Illinois is known for being very corrupt with their governments. It basically, you guys have a list, the checklist that has to be gone through. of everything that needs to be on there. And it's huge. There's a lot of that information on the site already, but the way it's presented, it's probably gonna have to be changed around quite a bit to get the award. I'd already started working on this for another town that I won't mention, and probably would have had it for them this year, but they chose not to go forward with that. So I would really, really, really like to get it for you. So this is something that we also need to work on. Website and all your social outlets need to work in tandem. The key is communication with your citizens, and you don't want it to just be one-way communication, you want it to be two-way. So along with the website, you would have a social strategy that kind of goes along with that. I know you post to Facebook, but there needs to be a developed social strategy with content categories that you're posting in, and an editorial calendar, and tracking of all those posts in order to know what works, know what doesn't, know what makes people mad, know what people are talking about, and what they care about. So that's the content that you give them. Okay, and then streamlining multiple processes, increasing two-way communication, I believe we already hit that. All right, so here's your current site. You have 50 plus pages, 4 years worth of documents. It's very text heavy. A lot of information is buried, and all these social widgets, most of them aren't used actually. So that needs to be cleaned up a little. I know we're pressed for time here, so we won't actually go to your site right now. You guys all know what it looks like. If there's stuff on it that you hate, my email address is on the contracts that I sent you all, so just start shooting me emails of anything you can think of, because obviously your input's going to be very important. So here are some great ones. Tony and I went over quite a few sites and a bunch of the features that he really liked, and I believe that we were pretty much eye to eye on exactly what we both wanted. He had a couple of ideas that I hadn't really thought of yet, which is awesome. So the leader in building government sites is Civic Plus. You guys have one of their contracts in front of you. It's insane. I mean, it's $30,000, $40,000 investment up front, and then obviously upkeep fees. But you get a whole team of people behind you. You get very responsive. They're beautiful sites. But I will tell you that I can steal anything from them that I want, and I have. I mean, that's the first thing they taught me in broadcasting school, is to steal shamelessly. Yes. So I'll stand up here like Trump and repeat all of the speech, but they are awesome. I will contact them if there's something that I see on one of their sites that I love and I want to figure out how to do it. I contact them and they tell me, and I've been upfront with them. I'm not buying your product, I just like your stuff, so they'll point me to the white pages I need. I mean, they are industry standard excellent. So Naperville has a beautiful website. It's very image based. These little guys here, the live, work, and explore, these when you scroll over pop up. Very simple top level navigation, and also the search element, which is very important at the top of the screen. We could actually go to those sites, but we will, for the sake of time, not. Okay. So, we want to stand apart, but how much change are we looking at here? So we're going to a new CMS. That would be the first thing. That's a major change. The look and design would be very, very much different. The old municipal website is stacked with information. It is little boxes everywhere on the screen that all have a different topic going on in them. They have news, they have events, they have every single thing, and it's all jammed on this front page. But this would be a lot more, it would flow a lot better. So you'd have a few blocks on your front page with the most pertinent information, plus your top level navigation, which is just across the top of the screen with drop-down menus that are completely organized, very much easy to navigate, and tell you exactly what's there. So there'd be a few new tools that we put into play as well. MailChimp is a digital email marketing solution. It is free as long as you don't send out over 12,000 emails in a month, which is about perfect for this size of a town, because you could get the whole population to 2 emails and still be in their free account. That's part of one of the add-ons to the contract that we could do, or you could have somebody in the office do. Dropbox is a place to organize documents. Rather than put 5 years worth of documents onto a page on the website and have it getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and longer lists, you plop them into these nice little folders, put a link to it, and then they can get everything from a certain year. So you can have every agenda, every minutes from 2012, and they can just click the pretty little link and it's all organized really nicely. It's also a free account up to about 2 gigs. I believe we could get all 5 years of everything we needed in there with the free account. Otherwise, I believe it's like $8.95 a month. So new would be a social strategy, which would kind of coincide with what you're doing with the website. Definitely get people up to date on what new features there are and what they can use the website for. And the documents and templates for that as well. So there would be a social strategy, an editorial calendar, the tracking information, and you could outsource that to me, or you could have whoever's, I think Joey does it right now. You could continue to have Joey do it, just following the strategy so she can see what's working for her and what's not, and then we can do monthly reports together and kind of see where we want to go with that. Okay, and then you get me, of course. So that would be the big change. I'm not a whole corporation, but I am here. I know what's going on in town. I immerse myself in what's going on in the area, and I'm just a phone call away. I know how the town works. I know all the places in town, and I have a distinct interest in making the town thrive. So that's in a nutshell. So, let's see. I'm going to take you. You guys will get a bit of an idea here. Where are you going to set this? Let's see if it'll pop up. Nope. Okay, I was going to take you to some examples of how the website is going to change, but we'll just go through the list. All right, so quick links I already mentioned. We would take and look at the analytics. Gina does have analytics, Google Analytics set up to the current site. We see what pages are the most popular, who goes to them, when, where, why, how. I mean, analytics is very, very much, very thorough. So that would put your quick links into play with those analytics. Site search feature, obviously that needs to be very prominent on the page so they can find anything they want. Image-based elements. So rather than everything saying City Council agenda, you have a pretty little A that across the whole website people are going to know that agendas fall under this. So it'll say it, but it will also have the images. Very, very visual oriented. Maps, reports, releases, forms. I believe a few of these things were mentioned. Definitely links to all of those. All the reports would be in one place, but also where they need to be on the site. So a lot of cross-linking would happen, but everything would be intuitive on where to find it. So if you're looking for a bid, there's going to be something that says open bids, but it will also have a link to the contractor page so they can get to the bids from there if they end up finding it from a different way. FOIAs and digital submissions. We already covered that, so we'll skip right through there. Visual appeal that translates to any screen. That's what we're talking about of the responsiveness, but we hit all this. Open government and the Sunshine Award. You guys have that in front of you. Contractors and licensing, that is one thing that's kind of lacking right now, is a contractors list that is up to date and current, and being able to get the information for business licensing and such online. Events calendar. Squarespace has a beautiful way to do this. You can feature certain events. We can add events, city events in one way, and events from other organizations. So we would open it up for any organization to just shoot us an email and pop their event on the list. We can add garbage days and which days are recycled, things like that. And then galleries, pictures, pictures, pictures. I know there's one on the bottom of the homepage right now, but I was thinking more along the lines of things that fit in with each particular area of the site. And then, one other that I don't think I put on here. is I was planning on meeting with all the different departments and all the different people here in order to, once we get started, in order to kind of encapsulate what each department does and be able to build a page that fits what that department's doing from the people that are actually in that department. Embedded videos rather than linking. I mean, it's really nice to have that player pop up on your screen. You don't want to send people away from your site. If they go off your site, they're done. So you want the link to open in a new page, and you want to keep them on your site as long as possible. In that vein, a lot of links on the current site, some open in a new page, some open on top of it, and they shut down your page, and that would be all set up so they all open as outbound links. That would be what I just said. Inbound, outbound, and cross-linking. Okay. Hey, where'd you go? Skipped one. So digital media plan, we'll go through this really quick.
Tony. So we can get started on our
You're done?
Yeah, we got.
All right, let's go. We're done. The only last slides were the digital media plan, which I set an entire plan for you. And then the cost breakdown you have in front of you on that contract, so I don't need to go through that. And that's about it.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
don't think you could have talked any faster. I get all done.
Well, the next step will be, I do think that let staff, with Anne Marie, talk a little bit about what could be, look at the contract, bring it back to, if we look like this is the way we need to go, we'll make a recommendation of the contract, and have you guys take a look at it.
All right, sounds good. Anything else come before this committee? Motion closed.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.